By the stars, the monster just purred. Captain Thin of the Z and Galactic Patrol stared at the screen, disbelief and confusion clear on his angular green face. His eye stalks quivered in what could only be described as a mix of fear and curiosity. On the screen, in the middle of the cargo bay, sat the creature, a small, furry quadruped with slitted eyes and an expression that was both lazy and calculating. Thin turned to his lieutenant, Clor, who was equally perplexed. "What do you make of this, Clor? The beast looks so unassuming." Clor, whose primary task was identifying unknown life forms, ran his claws over the control panel, bringing up all available data on the creature. According to the database, it's an unclassified entity. It was found in the wreckage of that human ship we salvaged. All signs point to it being a pet, but it just devoured that energy rod like it was nothing. Finn interjected, his voice rising with alarm. "Our weapons can barely make a dent in those things." Clor nodded, his eyes narrowing. "Exactly, Captain. That's why we need to be cautious. This could be some sort of bioweapon the humans engineered." The creature, oblivious to the scrutiny, yawned widely, displaying sharp teeth that sent a shiver down Thin's spine. It then curled up into a ball and began to emit a rhythmic, soothing sound. "There it goes again with that strange noise," Thin muttered. "What's it doing?" Clor hesitated before responding, his voice tinged with both wonder and concern. "I believe it's calming itself, or perhaps us, as a form of manipulation." "Manipulation?" Thin recoiled, his eye stalks shooting straight up. "We can't allow it to gain control over our emotions. Send for a team of scientists immediately. We need to understand what we're dealing with." The scientists arrived in short order, a group of serious-faced Zeans who approached the creature with extreme caution. They set up an array of instruments around it, measuring everything from its energy emissions to its metabolic rate. "It's not emitting any harmful radiation," reported one scientist, a grizzled veteran named Vor. "In fact, its energy signature is quite low. It's consuming a minimal amount of resources for a creature of its size." "Could it be masking its true nature?" Thin asked, his eyes never leaving the screen. "Unlikely," Vor responded, scratching his chin with a claw. "If it were capable of such deception, we would detect fluctuations in its bio-readings. It's just a simple creature." As the scientists continued their analysis, the humans from the salvage ship were brought aboard for questioning. Among them was Lieutenant David Harris, a calm and collected officer with a reputation for handling first-contact situations with aplomb. Harris was led to the bridge, where Thin and Clor awaited him. "Human, what is that creature in our cargo bay?" Thin demanded, pointing to the screen where the animal now lay sprawled out, its belly exposed. Harris looked at the screen and chuckled. "Oh, you mean Whiskers. He's harmless." "Harmless?" Thin echoed, incredulous. "It consumed an energy rod and displays behaviors we cannot comprehend." "Explain this cat to us." Harris smiled, realizing the misunderstanding. "Cats are domesticated animals from Earth. They're kept as pets. They're not engineered bioweapons or apex predators, just companions. The purring you hear is a sign of contentment." Thin and Clor exchanged dubious glances. "This contentment?" Clor ventured. "Is it a form of psychological warfare?" Harris shook his head, still smiling. "No, it's just their way of showing they're happy. Cats have been living with humans for thousands of years. They're very good at surviving, but they're not dangerous to us." Despite Harris' reassurances, the Zeans remained cautious. They observed Whiskers for several more cycles, documenting his behavior meticulously. The cat, meanwhile, adapted quickly to his new environment, exploring the cargo bay with curiosity and even approaching the scientists, rubbing against their legs and purring louder. Captain Thin watched these interactions with a mix of fascination and bewilderment. "Human," he said to Harris during one of their many discussions. "How can such a small creature inspire such fear and confusion among our ranks?" Harris shrugged. "Cats have a way of getting under your skin. They're mysterious, independent, and sometimes, yes, a bit intimidating. But once you understand them, they're quite endearing." Thin pondered this. Perhaps it is not the creature itself that is the threat, but our ignorance of it. "Exactly," Harris agreed. "Understanding is the key. Once you get to know Whiskers, you'll see he's just looking for a comfortable place to sleep and a good meal." As days turned into weeks, the Z and Faye, AR of Whiskers gradually turned to curiosity and then to affection. The scientists even started to take turns feeding him, laughing at his antics, and marveling at his agility and grace. One day, as Thin observed Whiskers chasing a small ball the scientists had given him, he turned to Harris with a rare smile. "Perhaps we have much to learn from you humans, Lieutenant. This creature, this cat, has taught us more about ourselves than any other encounter." Harris nodded, a twinkle in his eye. "That's the thing about cats, Captain. They have a way of making us see the world differently, even if it's just through their eyes." Whiskers had become an unexpected ambassador, his antics bridging the cultural chasm between humans and Zeons. The once feared monster was now a beloved fixture on the ship, and his presence opened the door to deeper understanding between the species. Captain Thin and Lieutenant Clore spent many hours in discussion with Lieutenant Harris, delving into the intricacies of human culture and the role of animals within it. One day, as Thin observed Whiskers stalking a small robotic toy that one of the scientists had constructed, he turned to Harris with a thoughtful expression. "Tell me, Lieutenant, do all human creatures exhibit such complex behavior?" Harris chuckled. "Not all of them, but cats are particularly interesting. They're independent yet affectionate, mysterious yet straightforward. They have a way of making us slow down and appreciate the simple things in life." Thin nodded, his eye stalks focusing on Whiskers, who was now batting the toy around with evident delight. It is remarkable how a creature so small can command such attention and admiration. Just then, the ship's communication system chimed, and Clore's voice crackled through. "Captain, we have an incoming transmission from the High Council. They wish to speak with you immediately." Thin's expression shifted to one of concern. "Patch it through to the bridge," he ordered. When the Zeon ship finally docked at its home world, the crew was greeted by a mix of curiosity and skepticism. News of the Earth creature that had saved the ship had preceded their arrival, sparking both interest and doubt among the Zeon population. Whiskers, unbothered by the commotion, sat perched on Harris' shoulder, his tail flicking lazily as the crew disembarked. Captain Thin led a formal delegation to present their findings to the High Council. The holographic displays showed detailed scans, video recordings of Whiskers' actions during the anomaly, and the logs of their scientific observations. High Chancellor Zarak listened intently, his expression unreadable. "This creature," Zarak began, addressing the assembly, "has performed feats that our own advanced technology could not replicate. It appears we have underestimated both the humans and their so-called pets." Thin stepped forward, his eye stalks quivering with determination. "Chancellor, this experience has taught us that our understanding of the universe is still incomplete. Whiskers is not just a pet but a symbol of the unexpected, of how life, even in its simplest forms, can bridge gaps we cannot." The council murmured among themselves before Zarak raised a hand for silence. "Your report will be archived, Captain, and the actions of this Whiskers will be studied. However, I must ask, do you believe this creature poses a future threat?" Harris, who had remained respectfully silent until now, spoke up. "Chancellor, Whiskers is not a threat. If anything, he represents an opportunity, a chance for our species to work together to uncover the mysteries of the galaxy." Zarak regarded the human with a contemplative gaze before turning back to Thin. "Very well. The council will convene further to discuss this matter. In the meantime, the creature is permitted to remain aboard your vessel, provided it continues to pose no harm." As the crew returned to their ship, there was a palpable sense of relief. Whiskers had not only survived scrutiny from the highest authority but had also begun to shift perspectives about humanity and its seemingly unassuming companions. In the weeks that followed, Whiskers became an icon of cooperation. His likeness was replicated in holographic form across Zeon culture, symbolizing the curiosity and adaptability needed to thrive in the unknown vastness of space. Captain Thin and Lieutenant Clore continued their exchanges with Harris, deepening their understanding of Earth's creatures and customs. Whiskers, meanwhile, enjoyed his newfound fame with the effortless grace that only a cat could manage. One day, as the ship prepared for its next mission, Harris found Thin in the observation deck, staring out at a nebula with a thoughtful expression. Whiskers, as always, was perched nearby, his eyes half closed. "Captain," Harris began, "I think Whiskers has done more than us to help us with the anomaly. He's shown us that sometimes it's the little things, the overlooked, the ordinary, that hold the greatest surprises." Thin turned to the human officer, his eye stalks angling downward in a Zeon gesture of agreement. Indeed, Lieutenant. Perhaps the greatest discovery of this mission was not the anomaly itself, but the realization that there is strength in simplicity and wisdom in the unexpected. As the ship set off on its next journey, Whiskers curled up on the console, his soft purring filling the bridge with a sense of calm. The crew, once wary of him, now found comfort in his presence. In the vastness of the galaxy, amidst stars and anomalies, Whiskers had proven that even the smallest beings could inspire great change. And so, Whiskers the cat, an unassuming passenger on a salvaged human ship, became a legend, not just for humans or Xevians, but for all who dared to explore the unknown.